Well, hello and welcome to my channel, Fabulously Functioning and Fabulously Cooking with Bev. This particular video, I'm trying a new dish, and I'm altering many of the things I've made in years past to a healthier diet, but a delicious, healthier diet. So I'm going to take my traditional sage dressing that I make uh, for Thanksgiving, which is coming up soon. I'm going to try what I want to call now confetti sage dressing. Of course, there will be no animal products in it, minimal cholesterol, and I think it's going to be delicious. And so I want to try it in this video with you first. So over here in this pot, I'm making some of my own vegetable stock. And in here I have black peppercorns, 2 bay leaves, some celery, onion, and carrots. And I have let this simmer, and this stock is just simply wonderful. I do have an extra container of organic vegetable stock that I bought, but I went ahead and made some of my own stock. And so I really I want us to see that stock first. So I have my big measuring pot here. And I'm going to go ahead and pour this stock now that the pan is kind of cooled off. I'm going to pour this stock and try and drain, make sure I don't get any of the vegetables. But you can see how beautiful it is in color. And I'm sure it tastes the same way. So, here's that beautiful stock that I'm going to be adding to my dressing. Okay, so that's the main ingredient, but look at all these beautiful vegetables that I used to make this wonderful stock. Of course, you got bay leaf in there and peppercorn. And I put 1 teaspoon of Himalayan salt. Okay, so there's my stock. Now, here, this is going to be a cornbread sage dressing. And so here I have 2 pans of cornbread that I made. It has no egg in it. It has no animal fat in it. For the egg, I use flaxseed, called a flaxseed egg. You can Google that, how you can take flaxseed and replace it with an egg, or you can do banana. But I didn't do banana in this cornbread. I did flaxseed because it's going to be dressing. So it's crumbled up and it's ready to be mixed with several other things. So got the cornbread here. I've got all of my fresh ingredients that I'm going to chop up and put in the food processor. Then I'm going to sweat them in some sunflower oil, add them to the cornbread with the stock and some other wonderful seasonings that are just going to make this dressing delicious. So I've got my green onion. I'm going to chop that up, but I also have celery. And I have my tri-color peppers, which is why I have called it confetti dressing. So I've got orange, red, and yellow peppers that have been washed clean and cut up. But I'm going to put those in the food processor as well. We're going to add all of this. I also have some fresh garlic and some parsley to add to this dressing. Got other seasonings: rosemary, poultry seasoning, sage, and a little bit of table blend. Okay, and then I probably will add just a little bit of sweetness to it in the form of some maple syrup, because my folks are used to having just a little bit of sweetness in my dressing. So I'm going to see how it tastes before I add that, but if I need to add a little sweetener, either I'll do that or I'll add some coconut sugar. which is a very good sweetener and healthy. So I have organic coconut sugar, or I can just add a little bit of, pardon me, maple syrup. So we'll see. Set this over here. The other ingredient that I don't have over here is black pepper. You got to have some black pepper in there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my food processor. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and warm up this pan right here. And get it ready to sweat all these vegetables I'm about to put in the pan. So that was about 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil. And now what I'm going to do is take my little handy dandy food processor here. I'm going to cut up a few of these stalks of celery and drop them in there. Cut them up. Celery just makes a dressing, so, and I like to use my celery heads because those leaves have great flavor in them. So I'm going to add that in here. I'm going to go ahead and pulse this. Uh-oh. Is it plugged up? Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I got that chopped up. I'm going to add that to this bowl. A spoon or some type of spatula. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take that celery out. That looks delicious. Alright, now next we're going to add these chopped peppers. So we got orange, got yellow, we got red. We got all these wonderful peppers that I'm going to chop up in this food processor. And all they're going to do is just add amazing flavor and beautiful color to this dressing that I'm making. So I've chopped it. I'm just going to go ahead and put those in the food processor. Like so, like that. And kind of pulse them. These smell so good. Yeah. Look at that beautiful color. Alright. So, there they are, the peppers, chopped up very finely. I'm going to add that to this mixture right here. And that was about half of a yellow, half of a red, and half of a orange pepper. Now next, I'm going to be adding some of this parsley. This is curly parsley. I'm going to put that in the food processor like that. And to that, I'm going to add a few toes of garlic. Oh, what did I just... Okay, so I just cut the wrong thing. Where is my... It's sitting right here, y'all. Here it is right here. I don't know why I grabbed the sugar and then cut it again. Okay, so I love this. I got this from Kroger. So they have the fresh garlic in individual packets. There's about 4 or 5 in here. So I'm just going to open up this packet, drop it all in there, and that'll be perfect. It's just enough garlic. I think each packet is like a head of garlic, which is great. go ahead. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so now we got our parsley and our garlic. And we're going to add that to this mixture right here. Now we're going to get ready to sweat all of this in those 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil. That's just about ready. Okay, now when it comes to my green onion, I do not put that in here. So I'm going to, and these onions are for something else today. So I'm going to put these over here. I'm going to cut up my green onions by hand. I'm not going to put those in the food processor. So I just put them in a bunch like this. And I just do the whole bunch of them. I keep slipping off the edge there. I love the smell of green onion. Man, it smells so good. I think this will be enough onion. If it's not, I can always grab a little bit more white onion or some white onion. But green onion tends to be pretty powerful, which is probably why they sell them in small bunches. I love to sprinkle it over soups and just really anything. Okay. Alright, so now there's our green onion. I'm going to throw that in here too with all these other wonderful veggies that we're going to simmer. Oh, wow. And we're going to sweat, and then we're going to add it to this cornbread mix with the vegetable stock and all of the other seasonings. And we are not using any egg. Okay, so I want you to see this mixture. Look at that. This is my confetti dressing. I want to try it before Thanksgiving because it seems to be an amazing dish, and we're going to find out today. Okay? So I'm going to put that in here. Now, this pan is very hot. I better let it cool down just a little bit. So, like I said, I got all these other seasonings right here that I'm going to add to that. Right now, we're going to let this pan cool off. And then we're going to add, there we go. Right, you can only imagine what this smells like. You can only imagine. Look at that, y'all. I'm going to put it back over here. It smells wonderful. Oh my goodness. So, I'm going to let that sweat for a few minutes, and then we're going to be back. Holy mule. Okay, I'm back, and we have sweat the vegetables, and they are translucent. They have even formed a little bit of a juice, and it's just going to make the mixture even more heavenly. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cornbread, my crumbled up cornbread here, set this over here, and I'm going to pour this mixture into the cornbread mix. The crumbled up cornbread, really. And the cornbread that's crumbled up here is vegan cornbread. Has no animal, nothing in it. So stir that around like that. Oh, that looks good. Okay. Wow, this smells good. Okay, now I'm going to pour about half of this in here. There we go. Pour that much first. Oh, y'all should see this confetti cornbread. confetti dressing, rather. It looks beautiful. Let me show it to you. Look at that. Look at that. And I can only imagine what it's going to look like once I bake it. So I'm going to add just a little bit more of the stock that I made. Stir it around. All right, I'm going to set this over here. Now I have black pepper. I have poultry seasoning. I have sage. And I have some table blend. I have nutritional yeast. And of course I have my liquid aminos. All-purpose seasoning from soy protein. It's the alternative to soy sauce. And it adds wonderful flavor to your food. And it's an alternative to a salt as well, additional salt. So I'm going to open it up here. Okay, and I think I'm going to add about a half a cup. Here's my 1/4 cup. So I'm going to start with 1/4 of liquid aminos. A couple of tablespoons of nutritional yeast, seasonal nutritional yeast. Stir that in there. Man, that smells good. Ooh-wee. Looks good. Smells good. Okay, now I'm going to add some poultry seasoning. Oh, I love poultry seasoning, so I'm going to say that's maybe almost a tablespoon. Sage, lots of sage. I love sage in my dressing. So that may be about a tablespoon and a half of sage. Some black pepper. About a half a teaspoon to start out with. All right, and where's that rosemary? Right here. A little bit of rosemary. Oh, it smells so good. I think that's about half a teaspoon of rosemary. And then some table blend. About a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of table blend. Stir that up. Then I'm going to taste it. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. It smells like Thanksgiving already. Oh wow. Okay, so here I go. I gotta taste it. Drop the spoon. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit more of this liquid amino. And where's that sage? Y'all, this is good already, but I'm just adding some more to it. I'm adding a little bit more sage and a little bit more pepper for some kick. Look at that, don't want to open. Okay, so that's a little bit more of that. And I'm going to add a little bit more liquid. About a half a cup. Stir it around. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm going to taste it. One more again. Oh, I want to add at least 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. So we got 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons maple syrup. Just add a little sweetening. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, new spoon. Gotta taste it again. Best dressing ever. Okay, this is what I'm finna do, y'all. Hold your mute. I'm gonna pour a drop of oil in here. I'm just gonna kind of let that spread over the bottom of this baking dish. And then I'm going to add some of this here dressing to this baking dish. Oh, wow. I want y'all to see it. I'm saving some because I'm going to put some in another dish. Now look at that. Look. This is going to be some good dressing. Okay, and I got another dish right here. I hope that one's big enough. I may need to get the big blue Pyrex dish my mama give me. That's what I'm going to need. Pour a little oil in it. Alright, and now I'm going to move this one over here. I'm going to put the rest of this in this dish. Honey child. Y'all. This here is for real. Oh my goodness. We want to make sure we get all of this. Oh. Okay, I'm going to taste it one more time. Y'all. Okay. So, I'm going to put this in the oven, 400 degrees, and let it bake. And then I'm going to take it out, and y'all just hold your mute, okay? Hold your mute. Okay, so I'm back, and the dressing is now out of the oven. I shall pick it up so you can take a look at it. It's very hot. It's beautiful. Look at that. Check that out. I wish y'all could smell it. But at any rate, it's baked. It's firm. I've got a small baked sweet potato here. And I'm going to scoop up a little bit of this dressing. Oh, it's nice and oh wow. I'll put that dressing right there on the side. Look at that. Beautiful dressing. And so I'm going to add to this sweet potato. I'm going to put a little cinnamon, a little butter, and then a little maple syrup. little cinnamon, little vegan heart healthy butter. Sorry, Benacol. Benacol is the name of this butter. And I'm going to add a little bit of the Benacol in here, like so, like that, on this baked sweet potato. And a little bit of maple syrup. And to poke holes in this sweet potato while the butter just melts down in there. You got the cinnamon on top. Just going to pour just a little bit. Don't need much. All right. Lord, we thank you for this food. In Jesus' name, amen. So, let's start with this baked potato with the cinnamon, maple syrup, and Benacol butter. So here's the sweet potatoes. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. Now, for this dressing, look at that. Look at that. Happy Thanksgiving. What I said. Okay, y'all. So, I'm going to step back here. I'm going to eat a few more bites. And you know what I can have with this? Some pan-seared asparagus in garlic butter. Garlic basil butter. Pan-seared asparagus. With this sweet potato and this dressing. And it'll be a happy Thanksgiving for me. So, I'm going to let Dr. Woodard taste this. But thank y'all for joining me in this video. Bye-bye.